Over a century ago, this was one of Australia's first internment camps. It's right here in Australia's capital. Today I'm going to take you there to uncover a history that's been long forgotten and buried.
During World War I, this camp held people not for committing any crime, but just because they were German or Austrian. I want to see what remains of this forgotten piece of history in what's now just another industrial suburb. And stick around to the end because I actually found the last surviving part of the camp hidden in a spot that almost no one knows exists.
Because whether or not you agree with what happened here, it's something that should be remembered. Okay, so I've arrived in what is known as Molonglo Mall. Now I know Molonglo is a funny name, but we shouldn't laugh because what happened here 100 years ago wasn't that funny. And the official story is that the families here were treated quite well and they had the freedom to wander around to local shops during set hours, of course. But, I mean, ultimately it was an internment camp and they were held here against their will, so... Now, don't get me wrong, I know things need to be done during wartime. I'm not criticizing the ethics behind it, I'm just checking it out. And although we know it as an internment camp, there are apparently documents that refer to it as a concentration camp. Now, I don't know about the definitions and I'm not here to argue about it, but just telling you the history. And I think we should have a look and see what we can find. The area was quite large and pretty elaborate back in the day. Apparently there was 40 different tenement blocks here, 10 different stores and 30 different military buildings. They also had a watchtower. Now today, Fyshwick, funnily enough, is also known for certain adult entertainment locations, let's say. Now of course, that's just what I've heard. Okay, so I have heard that there is sort of like a memorial or a remembrance thing. Yeah, so I'm looking around for that. It sort of looks like a prison camp at the moment. You can see the barbed wire just in the background over there. To think someone else would have been looking at this barbed wire in a very different circumstance. When you know the history of this place, it really makes you look at it a lot differently. Maybe this over here was the dormitories. Maybe there would have been, a guard tower over there and over there. Of course there's different buildings now, but it opens up a little bit more here. This little square here, I wonder if this was also a square back then. Maybe the prisoners, do I call them prisoners? I don't know. Maybe the camp members would have gathered around here to socialize. So I think I've come across one of the only remaining indicators that this place existed. So back in the day, this would have held around 200 families and they would have been Austrian and German citizens during World War I. They were transported here from British territories across the world because, as you know, Australia used to follow Britain's command back in the day. Now I've been told that there's actually part of the camp that still remains, so I'm going to go check it out, see what I can find. But I've heard it's hidden away in a hidden location. Now I've just been walking for about 15 minutes and I have arrived at, surprisingly, the car park of a gym and camping shop. Apparently the only remaining building from this camp lies behind this in what is almost like a little pine tree forest. So let's go see if we can find it. So I actually have no idea where I'm going. I've just been told that it's in here somewhere, so hopefully we can find it. I can actually see some concrete right here. I have no idea if this was part of it. It's coming up to it right now. It's just like a concrete slab, as you can see. It's just, I don't know. This could have been part of it, but that's not what I'm looking for. I know there is a structure that's still here, so let's keep on going. Looks like there's sort of a little path here. You almost feel like you're somewhere you shouldn't be, even though technically it's public land. I'm allowed to be here, it just feels like I'm doing something I shouldn't be. Now I imagine that none of these pine trees were here when the camp was here. That was a long time ago now, 100 years. I don't think these trees are that old. Anyway, let's keep going. You can see those factories in the distance over there. Maybe that's where part of the camp used to be. You can just imagine 100 years ago, there probably would have been a German or Austrian guy walking these same steps, probably uncertain about his future, being taken away from his home in a foreign land. Who knows if he even spoke English or not, but here he is, walking along the same path that I am right now. Now, I don't know, I have a feeling it's through here. I think this might be it. I can sort of see a hill forming. I've got to like climb through the trees here. Yeah. There it is. The only remaining structure from the camp. I'm just climbing up this little hill now. Wow. I have to say it's a lot more overgrown than I expected. So apparently this would have been either like a swimming pool or a water reservoir that contained all the water for the people in the camp. And I gotta be careful not to fall in here. But I almost tripped on one of these things, these 100-year-old screws in the ground. Yeah, this pretty much confirms it. There's a water pipe right here. Would have put water into this pit right here. And it's crazy to think that this pipe is 105 or so years old. Hope there's no lead in it. One thing that really surprises me about this place is just how lush and green the plants in the pit are. It's very unusual for Canberra. Really just goes to show how neglected and forgotten this place is. Now I guess some people come here to drink, no idea why. Aldi beer, by the way. I've just noticed also there's some bricks here, part of the structure. I actually have no idea if these are the original bricks or not. It would be cool if they are. Have a look at it. Oh my... Big ass spider under there. Whoops. If you overturn a rock or something, or a brick, always be prepared for something underneath. Now, during wartime, countries make difficult decisions. And internment camps here, like this one, were just one of them. There's nothing left. No fences, no guard towers, just a tiny sign sitting as a reminder. Sometimes history just fades away, but for a moment in Australia's past, this place played a part in the war effort and now largely forgotten. We don't have to judge the morality or the ethics of the camp, but we should remember it and hope that something like this is never again necessary.